For running JavaScript inside your VS Code terminal and working with a backend server, you need to have the solid knowledge of Node.js. So welcome to this session of Node.js in which you will be guided through every single thing that you need to know about it. This session is divided into 14 easy to understand chapters, which covers up the topic about npm, nvm, then creating a server, then how to actually use Nodemon, proper resources and documentation guides, along with the knowledge of proper AI tools that you can use for learning Node.js properly. Chapter-wise periodic notes are also provided throughout this entire video for your easy understanding. Timestamps are provided at the pinned comment and at the description below. All you need to give is your time, focus and energy, and need to have the understanding of JavaScript. So without wasting further time, let's get started. Okay, so before starting everything, let's move on to the installation process first. So first you need to download the Node.js, and then click on the download. Here you will be able to see the version. Okay, it is v22 12.0 LST. You can choose the current version as well. So here on whatever operating system that you are working with, just choose your operating system, pre-installer build, and here you'll download the Node.js file. I have already installed in my PC. Just like the normal installation process, just install it. Click over here Windows installer. It will start installing the exe file, just like the normal installation process. So wait a bit and then click over here next, and then click I accept the terms and conditions. Where you want to install your Node.js file? Well, I have already installed in my C drive, so but I'll be changing it. Next, click over here next, automatically install the necessary tools. So just click the right over here and then click on install. It will be installing the all these things. Close the explanation and restart them. Copying new files, creating shortcuts. Okay, and after that click on finish. Press any key to continue, means clicking enter. So the installation process is done. So now let's move on to the next step. And after the installation is done, open your VS Code. Make a folder over here and let's get started with it. So here I'll be naming the folder as Node.js understanding. Let's open the file. Open with code server.js. okay, I recommend you to have the proper understanding about JavaScript first and then come to Node.js. So here I'll be starting with a question about why Node.js. Node.js is basically for the reason in order to run the JavaScript file in your terminal, not in browser. You have to make an index.html file, and after making that HTML file, you need to run your JavaScript file in the console section. In case of Node.js, it actually simplifies the entire thing. If you want to run your JavaScript file in your computer or in your terminal, for that reason, you need to run Node.js. So after that installation process, what you need to do is, let me open the new terminal, and here you need to type npm install Node.js. If you write over here npm install Node.js, so here it will be downloading some packages. Npm goes for Node Package Manager. That means it will be installing so many packages over here as you can see, and it will be in the form of JSON file format. Node means what? Node means the pathway. That means in this node you will be able to find the packages. Packages means what? Some sort of code that is written by other developers is packed in at a place, and you will be able to install that packages in your server, in your this file. So after installing these packages, you will be able to use that ready-made code for your own purpose, like for making your own server, like this sort of thing. So this is all about Node Package Manager. If you know about JavaScript properly, about the JSON file format, you will be able to understand this format, where you will be able to find a bunch of objects over here, and inside these objects you will be finding all these things. So here you will be able to see the version. Here you will be able to find dependencies, and here you will be able to find the modules as well. So this is the first step you need to go. So let's start with the very basic thing, npm init. npm init goes for initializing a package. As you can see over here, all these things contain the values of every single, like the name of this package is Node.js understanding version 3. All these things are the values. So for installing the packages, you need to name your package. For naming that package, what you need to write, let's say I'll be making a GitHub clone or YouTube clone. Okay, so for making that YouTube clone, you need to write YouTube clone. Name can only contain the URL friendly character. Okay, so let's write over here Spotify clone. Okay, name only the character URL friendly. Okay, so Spotify. Now it is okay. Now here it is saying to what version of npm you want to install. Here basically npm have various versions of it. So if you want to install the latest version, you can enter it. However, I'll be keeping it as default. Here you need to write your description first. This is a Spotify clone, and here the entry point, the entry point will be server.js. That means this file. So I'll be entering it, and test command I'll be keeping it as default. You can, if you have the Git repository, so you can include it at what Git repository you want to include it. However, I'll be keeping it as default. Here for keywords, I'll be going for Spotify, the author, and here license ISC. So is it okay? It is doing quite yes. So enter, and here you will be able to see it have installed this package.json file format. So here it contains all the things that you no test specified. So this is how you will be able to install the npm packages. Now if you want to install Express or Slugify, let me show you. This is the official documentation where you will be able to learn much of the things. So yes, you can always visit the documentation about npm, getting started with npm. Here if you click on the packages, well, it's actually always good to have the understanding of it. So let's install an npm package which is called Slugify. So Slugify basically means there are basically other packages that you can install it by yourself. Like if you are making an application for updating the date, so you will be able to find the packages which is related to date. Okay, if you click over here date, here you will be able to find npm idate. Okay, go and install the npm idate, and like this one, just go over here in the terminal and paste it, and here it will be installing the packages which is related to date. Okay, so it have added the 82 packages over here. So let me show you. As you can see over here, these are bunch of packages. Here you can see license, and all these things are actually the packages which is related to date. Similarly, there are a bunch of packages. Well, it depends on what kind of application that you are running with. If you want for for time, here you will be able to find time, and here click the copy, and here you will be able to find time, and it will be installing all the packages which is related to time. So that is all about it. Similarly, there is a content called Slugify, GIFY, Slugify. Slugify means this one. So if you by any chance don't know about Slugify, Slugify basically refers to this part. So if you're making your project depending on something related to Slugify, you can just click over here and install this for the same thing, and it will be installing the packages which is related to Slugify. If you visit over here in the dependency, you will be able to see whatever packages that you will be installing over here, like this one. With the latest version in the dependencies, it will be added. It will get added. So as you can see, I have installed the Slugify npm. In dependency, it has also added the Slugify, like the Slugify package with its version. So I have installed this Slugify. let's run this Slugify. Okay, I have copied that thing and I'll be pasting it over here. We'll be knowing about the require concept. It is extremely important to know about the require this require concept. Okay, before that, Slugify means there will be some string. As you can see, there will be some string which will be connected with this one. Let me show you. Starting this Slugify, as you can see, it is from the dependency over here. This dependency. That means dependency means what? You will be able to use this term, and here you will be able to say. Let me remove it. So here you will be able to see Slugify. Slugify means, as you can see over here, this one. As you can see, these lines are connected with some these letters and or like percentage or something like that, or like 8, or means two lines are connected with some special letters. So this actually represents the slug. This one over here, this basically represents this slug. If you make it a variable like let slug, and this space will be filled with this one, this underscore. So here if you do the console log slug and run it, it will be like this. See, here you can see this is this underscore sign. Same thing if you just do with equal to this three equal to's, it will be like that. So this is basically the concept of Slugify, and this is actually the example. In dependencies you have Slugify and date. As you know that you have already installed the packages of date and time, whatever packages that you will be installing, depending on that, those packages will be like what packages that you have installed, it will be enlisted over here. Here you are able to use this Slugify just because you have installed this one over here. So that is all about the concept of Node.js. It is very much simple. All you need to do is just to follow this process, like the installation process. If you want to skip all those questions, okay, so what you need to do is npm init minus y. Npm init minus y, and you will be able to skip all those questions and directly you will be able to form another package. So this is the basic concept about Node.js. Now I want to introduce you with a documentation guide. These things is extremely important to learn from documentations. Node.js org. Go with the first link. The link will be in the description, just go for it. Go for the learn section. Here you will be able to see the complete documentation guide of Node.js. If you want to go for the introduction to Node.js, every single thing is written in a very straightforward way. Look, if you want to learn anything properly, the best way to learn anything is following the documentation guide. Here at the very beginning, it is written about why Node.js is important. It is so much simple, as I have stated you earlier, for running it into your terminal, and instead of running it into your Chrome browser, running it into your terminal or your computer. So here is an example to create a server, web server. How you will be able to create a web server. So I'll be copying this entire thing. I'll be making one extra file, which will be creating server.js, and here I'll be running it over here. It is so much important to know about the require keyword. Let me show you. So if you go for the require, it is basically a built-in function that allows you to include modules in your JavaScript code. That means whatever modules that you have installed, like require this one. In the previous thing that you have require Slugify. So it is just like that. It is requiring a node module. like node, that is HTTP. This is a very basic server program, and if you just run it, it is running a server over here. If you follow the link here, you will be able to find hello world. So here you will be able to see the host name. You need to specify the host name over here, and you need to mention the port over here. And here this is basically a promise. The request, it will be sending a request and it will result successfully. That means whatever server that you will be creating over here, it will be sending the request to the service provider, and that service provider will show you the result successfully. You really need to have the understanding about callback functions and something like that in JavaScript. Okay, you will be entering the port over here and the host name, port and host name, by adding the port and host name over here, and this will be forming a server. Now let's say you want to change something in this server. Okay, you want to change this hello world into something like how it is going. That means you have changed the context, but if you just visit the server, it will not change the context. If you reload it, it will not change the context. You need to run it again, like in a very formal way. If you run once again, it will be forming a new server, and only then it will be changing the context. So it will be very much time consuming if you just like click on delete and again you are running these things for if you change the concept over here. And for that reason, there is a concept came out which is called Nodemon. Nodemon basically allows you to update the server if you change the content in the server. And if you just type over here npm I Nodemon, so it will be installing the Nodemon packages. It will be taking a bit time. Let it get installed. Okay, it have installed the 79 packages. That means in the package.json, here in the dependency part, you have Nodemon installed. If you follow the link, you will be able to see that. So for updating my server, what I need to do is just type over here Nodemon and name your file creating server.js, this file name, and then enter. So as you can see, the Nodemon have started the server. Okay, now if you change anything over here, assume that this is the another content, this is a Nodemon server, this is a Nodemon server, and you are seeing that it is constantly updating my server. So this is all about the concept of Nodemon. I hope you are able to understand how to actually use it. So these are the two things that you need to know about Nodemon. So why for Nodemon? For updating the server. That's it. That is all about Nodemon. Node version manager, that is NVM. Okay, that is NVM, that is Node version manager. What it actually means is at what version you are running your Node.js on. So how you will be able to check it out. Let's say you are making a project, okay, and you want to change your Node version. Here how you will be able to check your Node version. Basically you need to write node -v. Okay, and here I have installed v22. That means the version is 22 for in my PC. The version may go beyond like 24, 25, 26. So but there will not be much difference. You can use this current version. However, if you want to use the lesser version, you will be able to do that. I want to share with you with this resource, this GitHub link. I'll be sharing with you. The link will be in the description. Here every single thing about Node version manager is written. Okay, so it will be completely pointless about just to talk about it, because it is all about this one, NVM use 16. Like if you want to install the version 16, you can actually use the version 16, or if you want to check out your version, you will be able to check out your version. That totally depends upon what work that you will be performing. Like if you actually need to change your version, you will be able to do that. So this is all about Node version. This is not something that you're supposed to be worry about it much, but for the understanding, for the knowledge, you can go through it. And in this link, you'll be able to find a whole bunch of thing about NVM, Node Version Manager. Okay, I hope you are making the notes properly. Now let's talk about the ECMAScript module and CommonJS. It is extremely important in the field of web development. If you make multiple files in JavaScript, okay, let's say you are making a very big application, very big web application, where you need to make multiple files in JavaScript. Okay, you have to make multiple files in JavaScript. Otherwise, if you write every single thing in one JavaScript file, it will be completely messed up. You yourself will get confused about what you have written. And for that reason, you can make another file on JavaScript and connect those two files each other. So for that purpose, for connecting multiple files of JavaScript, there are basically two methods. The first one is ECMAScript module and the second one is CommonJS. So these are basically two methods. Okay, both of them result in the same output. That means if you use ECMAScript module, the same thing will happen. You will be able to connect two multiple files at once, and the same thing you will be able to do by CommonJS process as well. Both of the methods are just for connecting two files of JavaScript. You need to remember and understand. Now let me show you with some practical example about how to actually use ECMAScript module and CommonJS. So be attentive at this point. So here I have made two files, one for CommonJS, like two files for CommonJS and two files for ECMAScript. Okay, so I'll be starting with CommonJS first. So basically for CommonJS purpose, what you need to do is you don't need to type module. So I'll be picking up one common example, that is I'll be making an object, and from that object there will be two values, and those two, and I'll be writing another function to add that value. Okay, so I'll be just typing over here an object, let numbers equal to, here let's say the first number will be a, I'll be calling it a, and the value is 1. Okay, and the second number is b, the value will be 2. Okay, this is an object. So now I'll be writing an async function, which is async function, and here the name will be addition. In addition, there will be two parameters, x and y, and it will be returning x plus y. So at this point, what you need to do, x plus y, await this one. Okay, so here basically this x plus y, I'll be adding this a value as 1 and b value as 2 in another file. Okay, in this one, the function will be done in this one. Okay, so and after that, what you need to do, after doing every single thing, what you need to write is module dot exports numbers and addition. This is a very important syntax in the case of CommonJS. What you need to write is module.export, and whatever thing that you will be doing, this object, this function, you need to write it over here. So here in the second file, what you need to write is constant, and you need to use a parenthesis first, and after that addition, comma, numbers, and here you need to write require, and then dot parenthesis and common one JS. That means requirements. What requirements? It is collecting data from this common JS folder, this common JS file, and after that what you need to write, that is addition then numbers dot a comma numbers dot b. So it will be adding the following values. Okay, so here it is actually running it. Here if you just type console log adding the numbers, and here what you can do, let's say let process equals to this one, and I have actually made a variable of it, and I'll be consoling the process. Okay, so let me show you. As you can see, the promise is actually pending, adding the number pending. Okay, I wonder what it is going on. Let's not use this async await for no reason. Return x and y. Let me check out. Okay, so as you can see over here, it have 1 plus 2 3. 1 plus 2 3. So this is all about the common JS concept. Okay, so now let's talk about ECMAScript. So for doing the same thing, I'll be considering the same example. I'll be just copying it and I'll be pasting it over here. I'll be doing the same process with these two files. So what I actually need to do in the case of ECMAScript module, what I need to do is you need to write over here type module. The basic difference will be the syntax will be different, and in this case all you need to write over here export, and again export. Like what are the files that you want to export, all you need to write in front of that this export letter. And in the second file what you need to do is import numbers addition ecma1.js. okay, ecma1.js. you are importing these two things from this file. Now you can do the same thing over here. I'll be making one let process, and I'll be doing the console log and process. If you run the file import, okay, cannot use import statement outside a module. I by mistake written this thing over here. It will be over here. Okay, it will be over here, so don't make this mistake, and it will be completely fine right now. So as you can see, it have done the same process, it have done the same thing. That is just the difference in syntax. Okay, that is basically the difference in syntax. Now if I do this thing, if I remove this thing, and then if I run, you will be getting this sort of error. It is actually saying that without the type of module, without setting this type module, you will not be able to use the ES module file. So it is as simple as that. So same thing, if you want to go for common JS, instead of writing module, you need to choose common JS. I hope you're able to understand what I actually meant. So okay, so now let's talk about working with file system. Now in backend development, you need to create files, and those files will be in the form of txt file. So in order to understand and make that txt file, you need to have the proper understanding about file system. Well, I want to introduce you with this very valuable resource, file system. And this first link, if you follow here, you will be able to find about about file system over here on your computer. File system. So This is number one, Node.js. So now let's talk about the file system concept. So now let's talk about the file system or FS module. If in your computer, if you make any sort of file in the form of txt, or all these are the files, okay, you are able to see all this common 1.js, common 2.js, common like this ECMAScript.js, these are all files, right? If you want to access all these files, or it may be the index.html files also, or the css files also in your PC, then you really need to have the understanding about the file system, how the file system works in your computer. That means basically how you will be able to manage all your files while connecting it to your website by using the terminal, by using the server. So it is basically all about creating new file, reading the file, and how you will be able to create more and more content in your file. Okay, so without wasting further time, let me show you how to actually do that. So as you have understood the concept of ECMAScript module and common.js, so now if you want to create any sort of file in your Node.js terminal, in your this folder, this Node.js terminal, in this path, you also have to go through with either with ECMAScript module method or common.js method. Let me show you all those two ways. Okay, so first of all, you have common.js fs module. I'll be naming the file as common.js fs module.js. This one is the first one, and the second one will be ECMA.js fs, that fs stands for file system.js. This one will be for ECMA. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the common.js module. So if you want to create a new file, what you need to do is, if you're running any sort of program by using common.js method, then you have to make sure that your type is in common.js. Okay, and if you are going for the ECMAScript module method, then you need to make sure that your type is in ECMAScript. Okay, your like ES module. So it is in common.js, so I need to be considering the common.js method. Okay, so here fs module, that means I want to introduce you with this resource. You can go and check it out, this W3 schools, this concept. Here you need to require all these things. fs stands for file system. This fs module basically represents about, it have this package, this entire package contains a bunch of functions, and by using these functions you will be able to manage your file. Whatever files that you have over here, you will be able to manage it. So let's start with the syntax first. So that is constant fs, I'll be naming it file underscore system, then require, and then fs. Okay, requirements for this file system module, it is accessing the entire file system module from common.js. fs module in common.js format. So for creating a new file, file system dot write file, you need to name your file. Okay, whatever name you want to name, you can name it. I want to name it file1.txt, and here you will be entering the context. That means whatever thing that you will be writing in your file, I'll be writing hello, this is a new file. This is a new file. Okay, and after that is basically what you need to write file sync. Okay, and if you run it, let me show you. If you run this one, see it have created one file file1.txt, and here you can see, hello, this is a new file. As you can see, it have created a file by using this one. So now let's talk about for reading a file. Okay, so for that thing, all you need to do is just to read file, and you'll be reading this one. Okay, this first file, file1.txt, and here you need to write error comma data. Let me show you. So as you can see, if you want to access any sort of file content, like you have this file, okay, hello, this is a new file, okay, this is the content inside this file. If you want to access this content in your file, you need to write this read file function. Okay, if you don't write toString, it will be showing something like this buffer, and there you will be able to find some sort of alphanumeric values. Okay, you don't need to do that. So for that reason, you need to write toString. Now let's talk about how you will be able to append your file. That means if you want to add something in this file, okay, how you will be able to do that. Now let me show you. File, choose this one, either this one or this one. So I'll be choosing this one, file sync, and here if you enter file1.txt, like if you enter something, this is the appended data. Okay, this is the appended data. If you want to add something in file1, okay, firstly you have hello, this is a new file, you have this context, and now you want to add this one. This is the appended data. If you run it, let me show you. Here you can see it have entered this is the appended data over here. Now let's talk about its altered concepts. You have this write file sync. Okay, you have this write file sync. You can also make file by using the other concepts as well. Like, okay, you can use write file instead of write file sync. You may go through some sort of problem by using write file sync, or if you get any sort of error, you will not be able to resolve that error. If you want to make another file, let's say file2.txt, and here you want to enter the context, this is a second file, and then after that you need to enter the callback function. Okay, and inside this what you need to write is error. If any sort of error comes out, it will be entering the error. Okay, so if error, let me enter over here. As you can see over here, file2.txt, this is the second file. It have made the second file. Up to now we have just seen how to use how to work with file system by using CommonJS module. Now we'll be learning about how we'll be able to do all these things, like working with file system by using ECMAScript module. So before that, all you need to do is just to remove this CommonJS module. Okay, and after that what you need to do is import file system from fs promises. Now you will be able to create a file, constant new file equals to, here you will be able to use await directly. Okay, so you don't actually have to write async over here, you can use the await directly over here. So here file system, and inside the write file what you need to do is let's say if you want to make file number 4.txt, and here you need to enter a context, like this is a new file from ES module. Console log, here it will be showing undefined, but you will be able to see it have created this file. It have created this file 4.txt, and here you will be able to see this is a new file from ES module. So same will be going for reading the file. Like I'll be naming it another file, and here await file system dot read file, and it will be reading the file of like whatever thing that I have written over here. Console log another file, and here you need to write toString. So if you do that, see, this is a new file from ES module. It have done the reading properly. Same thing you will be able to do that for appending the file. This is the appended data. I'll be just entering the default as it is, and if you do the console log of append file, okay, not the append file, you actually don't need to do that, but anyway, let me do it. Append file, it will again show undefined, and here if you open, you'll be able to see this is the appended data. So if you want to know more about file system, you can visit this website. If you just go for FS module syntaxes, you will be able to see like for creating a directory. If you want to create a full directory, you can do that, like mkdir. Mkdir means what? Making a directory. If you want to delete any sort of file, you can also use this one also. Unlink means what? Unlink means you are not linking this file format. You are not linking this file format with your server. Okay, you are not linking it. So that is all about deleting the file. Same thing you will be able to get renaming. All you need to do is just to enter rename over here, and you will be able to rename your entire file. So now let's talk about, just like FS module, here you will be getting a path module. That means working with path, like this one. Here inside this directory, this Node.js understanding directory, as we have made this file earlier, if you want to access this one, all these files, so this is a path. Okay, by path means way. If you click on File Explorer, and here you will be able to see this folder. Okay, and if you click on node, like node modules, this folder, here if you click over here, this is a path. So I have considered this path over here, and let me paste it over here. Let me comment off it. So just like the other one, you also need to consider working with path by using two methods, that is CommonJS method and ES module method. So just like that, at the very beginning, you need to change the type to either CommonJS or ES module. So if you are working with CommonJS, you need to change it to CommonJS. Okay, so let's start with CommonJS. So here the syntax will be constant path equals to require path. This path, so path is the module, just like FS module, this path is also a module. So what this module does is, it actually helps you to work with path. Okay, if you console log this path, and if you run it in the terminal, you will be able to see all these parameters over here. Like any path contains all these parameters. So here you will be able to see all these parameters. Here once again, I'll be just typing another constant, another variable, which is my path, and this is the path, my path. So if I console log path dir name, that means the directory name, if I console log it, and here if I just type my path, so if I consider it like the directory name of this path. If I want to know what is the directory name of this path over here, as you can see, these are all the parameters, all the properties in the form of object. So what will be the property of this path? Let's know. So if you run it here, this is the property of this path, the directory name. This one is the directory name. So this one will be for accessing the directory name. If you want to know the directory name, by using this way, you will be able to get the directory name of this path. The same thing if you want to get the base name. What is the base name of this path? If you run it once again, here you will be able to see node module. See, node module. And the same thing if you console log this part with extension name. If you click over here once again, so there is basically no extension name over here. Extension name means if you just click over here JS, okay, and then if you just run it, so this JS will be the extension. Like that, after this dot, if you write HTML or the file name, like in what file you are running, it will be the extension name. Okay, if you write over here txt, this txt will be the extension name. So this is the directory name, this is the node module, and this is the text name. So now let's talk about how you'll be able to do the same thing in ES module. So before that, change the type to module. So the same thing you need to do in ES module, import path from path. Okay, and here my path equals to, like, this will be the, like, I'm assuming this is my path. Okay, let me just type over here dot txt. Again, you can choose any path. Okay, any path, txt, and if you console log my path, only the path, the same thing you will be getting over here, the same thing. Okay, so it is not like it is different or something like that, only the method is different. Console log path directory name, if you want to access the directory name, so see, directory name. Same thing for the base name. If you want to access the base name, you will be able to say this is the base name. And if you want to know the extension name, the same thing dot txt, like the last one. Okay, so if you don't have the extension name over here, just the folder up to node modules there. If there is no extension, it will not show any answer. So this is the basic concept about, like, knowing about how to use path module to work with path. So how much JavaScript you need to know, like these sort of things. You need to have the understanding about arrow functions, then scoops, arrays, all these things, then ECMAScript. Look, you need to know about two basic things, ECMAScript and CommonJS. This proper understanding is extremely important. Well, I'll be covering up in our next lecture, in our next video. Then debugging Node.js. Well, there are a bunch of theories over here. It is written. Well, it is very much important to understand about V8. V8 means is the JavaScript engine that is persists and executes the JavaScript code. V8 engine means what? Running the JavaScript file in the Chrome browser in the console section. This is basically the V8 engine. Okay, the theory part over here. Other V8 engines, you have Firefox, Safari, Edge, all these things, like how JavaScript actually works. So you can go and check it out over here. That is basically the understanding, like whatever thing that you need to know to get started with Node.js. For every single thing, you need to visit the documentation first. Every single thing is provided over here. You can use AI. If you don't understand anything, you can use AI to understand most of the things. You can use ChatGPT or Gemini, or you have the GitHub Copilot. I'll be making a separate video on Cody AI or GitHub Copilot, as you can see over here. GitHub Copilot. If you're struggling with understanding something, then you can just basically go and use the GitHub Copilot for your understanding. Here in GitHub Copilot, you will be able to see you can use GPT-4o or Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Basically, it is interesting because you will be able to use the GPT-4o. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell icon for getting more and more important video updates. And I will see you next time.